In this video, we're going to demonstrate and show how to extract a volume of a stockpile from a point cloud. Now, this process can be done a couple different ways. It can be done with a terrestrial scanner of LiDAR data. I'm going to demonstrate using aerial drone data, and I'm going to actually show additional processes using or starting in Trimble Stratus, sending the data to Trimble Connect, bringing the data into Trimble Business Center, and then sending the reports back out to Trimble Connect. So the purpose to show you these additional workflows and features is for maybe project collaboration. So what's nice about this is you also, because these files are large, using Connect, it's easy to share this data with your colleagues anywhere around the world or even within your own office. So while we can download the data and do it just on our desktop, I want to use Connect to show that the feature and the power of Trimble Connect. So we're going to start in Stratus. So in Stratus, we have a project here, and you can see I've got a project with some stockpiles, and this could be any project. We're going to go into our survey files or our files, and we're going to click on Point Cloud. From here, we can select the different LAZ file, whether it's this one here with the WGS84, this one here with the MGA zone 56, or a reduced LAZ. I'm actually going to take this one here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to click Push To. Now here you can see that I can push to different locations like OneDrive or even Autodesk Build, BIM 360, but I'm going to use Connect. So when I click on Connect, it's going to ask me where to send this file. So it's asking me which server your project's on. And if I pick North America, you'll see that it's going to look where I've logged in and I've got these different projects that I'm going to send the data to. Now I can use this extract Stockpile Demo, which I have created. Now, if you don't see your project here, you'll want to go back to Connect, and within Connect, you want to create your project. You can see here that I already have that stockpile project here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new one anyways. So we'll do new, and I'm going to come in here and say mine, we'll say stockpile demo. And then you can see here I've got my North America server, and project ownership is I'm going to pick myself, and I'll go ahead and click submit. So that will create that project in Connect. You can see that I can have a new folder. I can leave it alone right now. Let's leave it alone. Let's not do anything here, but I could create additional folders if I wanted to. So going back to the mine site, you can see there's my mine site demo. I didn't even have to refresh. It automatically just updated it. When I click on that and click send here, it'll start sending that file. Now you can see that this could take up to 30 minutes to appear, and I don't want to continue or just wait 30 minutes with nothing happening. So I've already downloaded this, and we'll show you how to process that. So actually, let's go and check our Connect, and you can see that the file has been downloaded already and uploaded into Connect, right? So it's been actually pushed from Stratus and into Connect. So now that it's in Connect, I could come in here, select on it, download it, but I'm going to go into Trimble Business Center, and we're going to start by creating a new project. I'm going to come in here and go new, and we'll pick a US survey foot project. That's our template. I'll click OK. Ignore the changes to our last one. This is our last stockpile report, and I'll show you how to do all this here in this video. So I have a new project. It's actually in meters, so I must have chose the wrong one. So let's go back and do that again. I'm going to go new, US survey foot. Go ahead and make that our blank template. I'll click OK. We'll make sure we're in US survey foot. So we are. So we're in US survey foot. So now in the latest version of Trimble Business Center, if you go to home, there's a connected workspace. You can open up the connected workspace, and that's going to take you and open up your Connect projects. So as you'll see here as it comes in, there's my mine stockpile demo project that we just created inside of Trimble Connect. So within Trimble Business Center, we can go right to Connect. There is another way that you can do this, is a remote file. If you click on remote file, you'll see that I can also get to my projects this way as well. Now, just another way to open it up, and it will bring in that data. But I want to go with the latest, so I'm going to click on connected workspace. So earlier versions, you would use a remote file. This version, which is the latest version of Trimble Business Center, as of December 2024, I'm going to use a connected workspace. So from here, I'll go into the Mine Stockpile Demo project. You'll see there's jobs. This is where you're syncing to Trimble Access. So your jobs would show up here if you're doing that. But we're just going to look under Files. So I'm going to click on Files, and you can see there's that LAZ file that we've downloaded or uploaded from Stratus into our Connect project. And I'm just going to click on, I can click on Download. I'm going to actually click on this one here, which is going to import in that LAZ file. Now this will take a few minutes, so we're just going to let it process. You'll see it's not going to be too long of a workflow or process, so I'll just go ahead and put myself on mute for a minute and let it run through. I'll show you, again, I want to give you some real world experience of how long it's going to take. When it does, you can see it's already processed it, and it's looking to import it, and it's asking me what is the coordinate system. Since that data from Stratus was possibly in meters, we're going to use the georeference grid scaled point cloud. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and that will convert it from the metric file format or metric coordinates into my state plane or U.S. survey foot coordinates in this case. If I did have the state plane grid system set up in Trimble Business Center, it would convert to that. You can see that it is working here in the background. It is processing the data. We'll let that run here for just a couple more seconds, and we will eventually get the point cloud. So again, if you're using a terrestrial scanner, SX12 or other, as long as you have the point cloud and you can get that data in the Trimble Business Center as an LAZ or as a point cloud file format, you'll be able to do the extraction that I'm going to show you here. There's a few other little simple techniques that you can use as well to improve this, but this actually is pretty quick, pretty easy to do once you have the data in. I did want to spend the time to show you how the data is imported. I think that's important as you're trying to process or use this particular command. Just a few more seconds. We can go ahead and close this connected workspace. We don't really need that open anymore. Well, once we get past this, it's asking us for a false northing and easting, so I'll go ahead and click OK to that. And now you can see the point clouds come in the background. I'll go ahead and close this, switch over to Trimble Business Center, and now you can see I have my point cloud. So what I can do here is add a 3D view so we can kind of pan and zoom around, look at this in 3D, and look to see where our stockpiles are. So you can see I have a few different stockpiles that I can work with. I'll go ahead and right click on the tab and do a vertical split so I can see them both. And we're just going to come down and let's just say we're going to work on, it looks like this one right here. We'll work on that one right there. So what we're going to do is just go over to our point cloud tab, and we have an extract stockpile command. So go ahead and click on extract stockpile. You've got a couple different options. What we need to do is we need a boundary around the bottom of the stockpile. Now I can just draw a line string and just snap, around, get it pretty close. But why do that when we have a tool that will help us with that process to create the boundary? So we'll start by picking a boundary, and we're going to pick a point, and we want to pick kind of the main side or a main side of the slope. So I'm just going to kind of pick just off the top to this area right in here. And you can see it puts this box around, which is the stockpile size. And there's different sizes that you can choose, a small, medium, large, very large, or even a custom size. So let's go with, actually let's medium, let's try small. Small looks like it will work, but I'm going to move that point over a little bit. You can see my bounding box is kind of clipping off a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just move that over just so that it encompasses that stockpile. The next thing we're going to do is pick the ground flatness threshold. So you can see it's 0.3. This kind of determines, the flatness around the difference in elevation around through here. So we're going to use the default, which is 0.328, and we're going to click extract boundary. And it's going to process it, and it should give us a boundary around the bottom of this. And you can see that it actually went out a little bit too far out in this area over here. So what we can do is change this threshold. Maybe let's make it 0.05 and give it another go. So I'm going to pick that same new boundary, and I'm going to click update boundary. So you see you may have to make some adjustments. On the north side, you can see it actually followed the boundary quite well. On the back side, possibly because it's coming out over into this area over in here, it's not picking up as much, or it's picking up too much information over into this area. So what we can do is, let's come down here, and we're just going to call this, I'll call it rock or stone 1. It could be a particular type of stone, right? We're just going to give it a name. I'm going to choose a new layer, or create a new layer, and we'll call it stockpile. And we'll click close that, and then we're going to click on add. Now when we add it, it creates the boundary. And the reason I'm showing you this is that we could make some adjustments and maybe do a different size stockpile. But I wanted to show you this because what we can do is we can actually edit this line string. So once you add it, now you can see that it's in edit line string mode. So what I'm going to do is right click and go and select edit. And it's going to let me come in here and pick this line string. So what I can do is left click once to highlight that point. And then I'm going to come in here and we'll zoom in. I'm just going to pick that point right there. So I'm moving that in a little bit. Then we can take this point here and let's move it over there. And then we'll come down to this point in here. Oops, pick that one. Made a mistake there. So let's come in and pick that point there. And I'm going to move that over here. Double click. So I left click once and then again, that lets me move it. So I'm going to come down here, left click, and we're going to move it in there because I don't want that. You see in here, I don't want that over. I want it to kind of follow there. Now I can also just left click on this one and click delete. And let's go ahead and left click, and just drop that one in there because we don't want to pick up that information. So you can see that I can use kind of a combination of letting it extract and actually modifying it. So even over in here, you can see it looks like I've got this point here could be moved over a little bit. So let's zoom in on this, modify that point there, move him over, right? So you can see I'm just moving this information to get it more in line of the area of the stockpile that I'm looking for. And again, I can remove that little spike if I want. Just go ahead and click on delete there. And that's the area that I'm most interested in. Okay. So again, depends on how much, level of accuracy, how much detail you're looking for when you're doing this. So now that I'm done editing the line string, the boundary, if you had an existing boundary, you could have just select this boundary here. So now future ones, I could just use this line string. Looks like maybe that one there. Let's right click and edit that again. I'm being a little sensitive here on where I want my boundary, right? So if we kind of zoom around, you can see that it's probably in there. Let's just move that over a little bit more. We'll move this guy. Okay. Yeah, I probably moved that a little bit. Let's undo that. Good enough. All right. For instructional purposes. So before I calculate the volume of this particular stockpile and create the report, what I want to do is actually do another one to show you another way to create this boundary. And I'm going to use a different stockpile. So I'm going to come over to these small stockpiles over here, and maybe this is sand, let's say. I can come over to this area, and what I want to do is same process as I want to extract a new boundary. I'm going to click pick a point. We'll click a point here, and you can see that the boundary is fairly large. Even if I picked a small one, it's 130 feet, and I measured that distance up here. You can see that it's 129 feet. So about 130 feet is the distance of that area. So if I come up and measure, use the measure command, and just pick a point here, pick a point there, it tells me that it's 23 feet. So what I'm going to do is go back to my extract stockpile, and I'm going to use the custom option, and we'll make that 25. We'll tab, and it's got to be greater than 98. Okay, so let's make it 100. And you can see that now it's extracted that stockpile of just that area in there. So now we have that one. And what I can do is I can call this sand 1, and then we can add, change our layer, add that one, and then I can pick another point, let's say on this other pile, and same thing using custom, sand 2, I can extract that boundary, and now I've got a boundary for that one. So I've got the stone, the sand 1, and sand 2, and we'll click add. So now that I have all those, I can go down to the bottom here, and I can click calculate volumes. So it'll calculate the volume for all 3 of my stockpiles with their name and shows the information. So each one of these actually too is a surface. So you can see if you go to the Project Explorer under surfaces, you've got your generated surfaces that you'll be able to select. So you can see they're actually triangulated surfaces, which you can use because they're surface objects, surface features, especially, and as well as this one over here. So our first one, final surface, which is over here, and you can see that one over there. Okay, so now that I have those, I can go ahead and I can export a CSV file, and I can send that out to my reports. Now, one of the other things that I didn't show or haven't shown you on Connect is I have set up the Trimble Connect sync. So this is an app on my desktop, and on my desktop, what I have is the projects. So I've got all my projects in here. Now, what I'm going to do is I save those projects. Those projects show up under here. So under the way I have Trimble Sync set up is it's my Trimble Synchronizer data folder, under PC, under SES data, 900 data projects, and there's that extract stockpile, or the mine stockpile demo. So if I click on that, I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it reports. And in reports, I'm going to save this, we'll call it mine stockpile, and it's going to save it as a CSV. I'm going to click save, and it's going to create, you can see it creates this Microsoft Excel file with the data in a CSV file format. All right, so I can close that, and then I can click on create report, and that creates a report within a window inside of Trimble Business Center, a little bit more detail and information. And then from here, I can click on and export that out as an Excel file, a PDF, a Word document. So if I do PDF, I'm going to do the same thing, save it in my reports. And now when I go to Trimble Sync, and I'm going to hit refresh, there's that mine stockpile demo. So I'm going to click on sync to that, and you can see that it's going to upload these files to that Trimble Connect project from my desktop. So when I click on Sync Now, it's going to synchronize that data. We'll give that a second. And now my colleagues, in another office, another, department can now go to the Trimble Connect project and get those reports of the stockpile volumes that they can use for whatever purposes they need. So now when I go back into Trimble Connect and we go ahead and refresh, and I look under my Explorer, there's the two reports that we just created. So if I look at that stockpile report in the PDF, you can see now it's a PDF that, again, my colleagues can look at using Connect. So again, just showing you kind of this connected workflow of Connect, Trimble Business Center, Stratus, a lot of different tools you can use to do this, but hopefully that gives you an idea of some other methods of passing these large data sets, getting these large data sets from one program to another, and using them to extract stockpile volumes and use that extract stockpile volume command. Stay tuned and look for more videos coming here for more AEC software applications.